Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something most of us probably have tucked away somewhere, the passport.
Right, that little booklet. We take it for granted, but its story is surprisingly long and complex.
Exactly. It's not just ID, it's packed with history, geopolitics, technology, all of it. We're going to dive into the sources you shared to trace its journey.
Yeah, our mission today is really to explore those origins, the big transformations, and maybe even peek into the future. You'll see how it went from, well, basically a letter to this high-tech thing we use now.
And what's really surprising right off the bat is that the earliest passports, they weren't about proving who you were at all. Is that right?
That's exactly it. It's fascinating. The original idea wasn't identification in our sense. They were more like royal safe conduct letters.
Safe conduct.
Yeah, a ruler would issue one asking other leaders to protect their envoy, sort of a let this person pass safely request.
So it was about passage, not identity verification. That feels like a very different world.
It absolutely was. Personal identity wasn't the state's main concern back then. It was more about who you served, your allegiance. One of the earliest examples we have is actually from the book of Nehemiah around 450 BC.
Nehemiah from the
Well,
Bible.
that's the one. He asked King Artaxerxes I for letters to the governors that they may let me pass through. But these were strictly for officials on missions, not for just anyone.
Right, not for everyday travel.
Definitely not. And the word passport, it probably comes from the French passport, literally meaning to pass through a port or gate. So that original idea of safe passage is baked right into the name.
Okay, so let's jump forward quite a bit. Europe, maybe the 15th century. I read King Henry V in England started issuing something closer to what we might recognize.
Yes, that's a key moment. Henry V's documents were initially more about internal control, tracking people heading to coastal ports.
Ah, internal control. But wasn't there a shift towards identification around then, too?
There was, and it's crucial. These early English documents started including physical descriptions, hair color, eye color, height, maybe noticeable scars.
So the first real step towards this is who this person is.
Exactly. It's the beginning of the passport as an ID document, not just a letter of request. Still very basic, like a handwritten note describing you.
Hard to imagine relying on that today.
Right. And interestingly, there was even a period, mid-19th century Europe, kind of a no-passport era. Railways were expanding so fast, border checks became almost impossible.
Wow, passport-free travel across Europe because of trains.
For a time, yes. It offered a glimpse of a different way, but it didn't last.
What changed? What brought passports back so forcefully?
Well, the big one was World War I. That was the major turning point.
Okay, how so?
Concerns about spies, controlling borders during wartime. It led to temporary passport requirements. But after the war, they just never really went away. They became permanent.
So a wartime measure became standard practice.
Pretty much. Suddenly, knowing exactly who was crossing your border was vital for national security.
But if every country needs them, how do you make them compatible? Standardize them.
Great question. That's where the League of Nations came in. In 1920, they held the Paris Conference on Passports.
Ah, the Paris Conference. What did they decide?
They set the first real global standards. Things like the 32-page booklet format we still see. It had to be in the issuing country's language and French.
French, too. Interesting.
Yeah, French was the diplomatic language. And critically, they mandated including a photograph. That really locked in the passport as a verified identity document.
The photo.
Yeah.
That makes it much more personal.
Absolutely. And then after World War II, you get the boom in air travel. Suddenly, international travel wasn't just for diplomats or the wealthy.
So the passport became an everyday item for ordinary people flying places.
Exactly. It cemented its role. Which brings us closer to today and the digital age.
Right. Things have definitely changed again. We have those stripes at the bottom of the photo page now.
Yes, the machine-readable passports, or MRPs, introduced by ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, back in the 1980s. Those two lines of text allow for much faster automated scanning.
But the really big shift, security-wise, came later, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Post 9/11. The focus shifted intensely towards verifying the holder's legitimacy. Is this person really the person this passport belongs to?
Which led to the e-passport, the one with the little gold symbol on the cover.
Precisely. That symbol indicates an embedded microchip.
And what's actually on that chip?
It holds your biographical data name, date of birth, etc. digitally, plus a high-resolution digital version of your photo. Some countries also include fingerprints.
Fingerprints too. Wow.
Yeah, and it's not just the chip. There are other, less obvious security features, too. Think holograms that shift, special inks visible only under UV light, incredibly complex background printing.
Things most of us probably don't even notice.
Probably not. But they all work together to make counterfeiting extremely difficult. It's a very sophisticated piece of technology now.
It really is an incredible evolution. From, like you said, a simple royal letter asking for safe passage.
To this complex, high-tech document that verifies identity across the globe.
An amazing journey for this little booklet.
It really is, and it tells us so much about how our world has changed, politics, technology, even how we think about identity and belonging. So maybe next time you look at your passport, think about this whole history.
That's a great point.
And consider this. What might it look like? Or maybe what might it be in another 50 years? Entirely digital on our phones. Something else entirely. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?